Hi, and welcome to the Outsiders channel. I am your host, the Batman. Grab some coffee, have a cigar, grab a snack, and buckle up. An avalanche of information is coming. This broadcast is the summary of an investigation that I've been looking into for years with very little active intel until now. This report will be an ongoing series of an extensive investigation into sleeper cells, assassination cells, terror cells, and networks operating in the good old US of A with evidence. In this first report series, I will detail two individuals who represent the aforementioned networks. First, we have Abu Henrique, a captured ISIS fighter, has made a chilling confession detailing how the terrorist group planned on exploiting vulnerabilities in the U.S. border with Mexico to take advantage of smuggling routes and to target financial institutions. Abu Henrique, a Canadian with dual Trinidadian citizenship, said that he was sought out to attack the U.S. from a route starting in Central America.
There is something that is kind of like was playing in my mind in the past a little while now. One reason I was also put in prison in 2016, I was asked to leave Daula to go to America because I'm from that area, because they wanted a plan to do something, and I refused. I refused to do it. That is why also I'm put into prison and being tortured. What they wanted to do was basically they wanted to do financial attacks, financial places that have the crippled economy. They had the resources, but honestly, I refused, and eventually I was put in prison for that also. Apparently they have the contacts or wherever wherever they could papers they could get to get a false ID, false passports. They have their system of doing it. So that's the only way I believe that I could have gone out there with other individuals. It wasn't me alone. They were sending you to Puerto Rico, and from Puerto Rico, this was masterminded by a guy in America. Where he is, I do not know. That the information and the plan came from somebody from the New Jersey state, from America. Basically, anything you wanted, because there's a rift between America and Mexico. So basically, whatever the contact the guy had, you would get anything you needed from there. I don't know where it would end up. Honestly, I'm not willing to do it. But this is one of the plans that they had, and which I would like to think I foiled the plan by not being part of it.
The ISIS fighter was interviewed last month, together with over 160 ISIS defectors and returnees, by research group the International Center for the Study of Violent Extremism. The study published in Homeland Security Today concluded, "We have learned about multiple individuals who knew of and were themselves offered or pressured by the ISIS Emni intelligence to return to Europe to mount attacks at home. We learned that indeed there was at least one ISIS plot for their cadres to travel from Syria to penetrate the U.S. northern or U.S. southern border rather by infiltrating migration routes. Henrique was detained by the SDF in Rojava, Syria, and spoke with researchers for more than an hour on May 12, 2019, giving his first-hand account of being attracted to, traveling, joining, and serving in the Islamic State Caliphate, first as a fighter and then later unable to fight due to chronic illness. Second, we have Ali Kourani. He allegedly helped a global terrorist network plot revenge against the U.S. from a home in the Bronx. He was undone after running a stop sign with 190 pairs of UGG boots. Kourani had allegedly been recruited as part of a plan to exact revenge for the car bomb killing of a terror mastermind whom a former CIA agent called probably the most intelligent, most capable operative we've ever run across, including the KGB or anybody else. Kourani was, by his own multiple admissions, trained in explosives and small arms, along with secure communications, survival, and interrogation as a member of Hezbollah's external security organization, the ESO, also known as the Islamic Jihad Organization, the IJO, or simply 910. Kourani was born in Lebanon in June 1984 to a family he claims has connections with Hezbollah. He has told the FBI that his clan were the bin Ladens of Lebanon. He was 16 when his familial social stature enabled him to attend a 45-day terror boot camp. During the training, Kourani was taught to fire AK-47 assault rifles and rocket launchers, as well as basic military tactics by Hezbollah personnel wearing uniforms. In 2003, at the age of 19, he immigrated to the U.S. He lived in a two-family house in Queens and studied biomedical engineering at the City University of New York. The course of his life was to change when Imad Muniya, second in command of Hezbollah and founding head of its military intelligence and security wing, was killed in Damascus, Syria in 2008. Imad was behind the 1983 truck bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Beirut that killed 7 CIA operatives along with 10 other Americans, as well as the truck bombing of the Marine barracks there later that year that killed 240. His full list of killings includes the 1985 torture and murder of Beirut CIA Station Chief William Buckley, the torture and killing of an American sailor aboard a hijacked airliner later that year, and the 1996 Khobar Towers bombing in Saudi Arabia that killed 19 U.S. Air Force personnel. Kourani would tell the FBI that Hezbollah sought to do so by copying an Israeli tactic that had long been used by the Russians and was later portrayed in the TV series The Americans. Kourani stated that the ESO wanted to copy the Israeli Mossad and sought to recruit sleepers. An FBI report said, these sleepers were tasked to maintain ostensibly normal lives the world over and could be tasked with operational activity should the ESO decide to take action. Karani was in Lebanon visiting his family when a cleric in his home village recruited him for the new effort, likely because of his education and the fact that he was already rooted in the U.S. He was a perfect candidate for a sleeper. A seemingly ordinary person leading a normal life who could be activated to carry out terrorist acts when called. The new recruit was instructed to don a helmet with a blacked out visor. He was driven to meet the man who would allegedly be his handler. The complaint details one of Fadi's first instructions: obtain United States citizenship and a U.S. passport as soon as possible. Karani fulfilled the first part of that mission in April of 2009. He applied for a passport the following week and for a visa to China a week later. He is said to have flown into Guangzhou, the location of a company that manufactures purported first aid ice packs that contain ammonium nitrate, an active ingredient in explosives. The large number of these ice packs would subsequently be found in Hezbollah bomb factories in Thailand and Cyprus. Guangzhou is also a major center for counterfeit clothing, which has been described as a major source of income for Hezbollah. That same month, Karani received his bachelor's degree back in New York. He went on to receive an MBA from Keller Graduate School, making his cover all the more convincing. In 2011, Fadi summoned Karani to Lebanon for military training. He returned to the U.S. and allegedly followed Fadi's instructions to identify possible sources of weapons and to research how to open businesses in New York that Hezbollah could use as cover for the storage of firearms intended for ESO assassinations and attacks in the U.S., the FBI report explained. Karani was further asked to scout out the security around the Israeli consulate in New York and identify Jewish businessmen in the city who were former or current members of the Israeli Defense Forces or the IDF for either assassination or recruitment purposes. The list of surveillance targets is also said to have included the Federal Building in Manhattan, where the FBI has its offices, and a Secret Service facility in Brooklyn. Karani allegedly made videos of a U.S. Army armory in Manhattan and JFK Airport. In the meantime, he and his wife had 2 children. One of the kids triggered a brief interruption in the email communications when he maintained with his laptop via a Toshiba laptop, his daughter spilled something on it, the FBI report stated. The Toshiba was destroyed, but Karani purchased an Apple laptop and allegedly continued his double life as a sleeper cell agent. He might have been the perfect sleeper had he not gone into the counterfeit clothing business. He was caught with 190 pair of UGG boots after he ran a stop sign in Queens in November 2013. He said, "I make about $2 per pair." The resulting police report quotes him saying, "I buy them for $20. The rest of the money goes to fund Hezbollah operations. The arrest prompted the NYPD Intelligence Division to interview Karani on a number of occasions. He came to the further attention of law enforcement in September of 2015 when arriving back from a trip to Lebanon, to the same airport he had extensively surveilled prior. Law enforcement personnel determined that Karani's cell phone did not contain a memory card, but found a memory card secreted under a travel sticker affixed to Karani's U.S. passport. Karani had gone 7 years as an alleged sleeper agent without being activated in any operational capacity. He deduced that the most likely reason was Hezbollah's 2015 discovery that Mohammed Sharaba, the very man in charge of the external operations and the revenge mission in particular, was an Israeli mole. Sharaba was said to have sabotaged numerous attack plans while the sleeper agents slumbered on. On April 1st, 2016, April Fool's Day, Karani would note he stopped into his regular Starbucks in Queens. A man approached and showed him an FBI badge. "We know your affiliation with Hezbollah," the agent stated. "You most likely have the wrong person," Karani replied. At a McDonald's next door, the agent handed him a file folder containing a cell phone. "I'm going to reach you at that phone number," the agent said. "Make sure that no one knows you have that phone." The FBI repeatedly called Karani over the days ahead to arrange meetings, during which they urged him to become an informant. The day then came when an attorney Karani had retained left a voicemail message with the FBI. In a series of meetings at his lawyer's office, Karani is said to have told the agents about his life as a sleeper agent, but the FBI remained convinced he was not telling all that he knew. The agents sought to shake more out of him. On June 1st, 2018, the agents quietly arrested him up in the Bronx, where he was living with relatives after separating from his wife. He was booked on 8 counts of terrorism-related offenses at the same federal building he had originally surveilled for Hezbollah, but waived a court appearance and the criminal complaint was sealed. He was held overnight at a nearby Marriott hotel. The agents thought keeping him there in custody versus in a prison would help preserve the possibility of cooperation. The next day, the agents and prosecutors concluded that Karani was still holding back and would not make a reliable informant. He was brought to court, and the criminal complaint against him was then unsealed. He was held without bail. Ladies and gentlemen, this active sleeper threat is real. There is absolutely a secret invasion of sleeper cells, assassination cells, terror cells that are lying in wait. ISIS groups are working with drug cartels by way of underground tunnels via the sewer system. Don't believe me? Take a look. This footage was taken on June 10th, 2019 in El Paso, Texas. You can observe several individuals crawling out of a sewage manhole at the intersection of 4th Avenue and South El Paso Street. The intersection near a business called Diana's Fashions is less than a half-mile away from the U.S.-Mexico border. Shout out to the anonymous viewer who took that footage. Now, if someone just happened to see some strange occurrence from the tunnels going on in broad daylight or in the evening, just imagine for a single moment what else is going on undetected and not being filmed. ISIS cells working with the drug cartels are sending drones to gather intel surveillance along the U.S.-Mexico border as well. ISIS and the cartels are weaponizing mass migration so they can bring in dangerous cells and sleepers and contraband. They are apparently monitoring the migrant flow in real time with spy drones. A recovered ISIS cartel drone on the afternoon of June 9th, 2019, that crashed in La Grula, Texas, near the river. They encountered a drone simply laying in the brush. The lights on the drone were blacked out with electrical tape so as to not be seen at night. This area has recently seen an influx of illicit trafficking. DHS officials have publicly said for over a year that the cartels are working with ISIS and are using drones to further accentuate the point that this is much more of a strategic invasion than just an immigration issue. The cartel is investing in technology to guide groups to a stash house or to a load driver waiting to pick them up. The agent who feels that he and his colleagues are being outmaneuvered by the dangerous insurgent groups operating on both sides of the border. They can now direct movement from above in a 360-degree view with pinpoint accuracy, even in the thick brush or dense sugarcane. This investigation is ongoing, and I just wanted to share what intel I've gathered so far. Ladies and gentlemen, get prepared, stay prepared, and remember, you are the true resistance in transmission.